over here at WCC. I've just finished up Lab 2. I did Lab 1, but couldn't be bothered to film it. It was over there. It was done with, it was a little bit of wiring. So basically, first part of the lab was filling out charts of like, this is for the PLC, like, you know, what is each of these modules. Another chart, which was for the robots rack, which is in there, all those cards. And then this was for CNC cable. I'll get to that in a moment. And this chart with a whole bunch of stuff was right in what everything in there was. And then I added stuff onto some supplied electrical prints. So this is some of the pencil stuff I've added in. Some more of this stuff. And it's basically like showing like, you know, to what card or wires going and what those wires are, and, you know, wires between machines. So yeah. And then I wired it up. So basically I've done most of the wiring in here except for the stuff around here. So most of the stuff along here, all the connections inside of here, and some of the stuff around here I've done. And so one of the first things that I did is wired up these buttons to the PLC. So like, for instance, like if you push the E-stop, well, to the PLC and some other stuff. So if you push the E-stop, it disables that master control relay, and the red light turns on the E-stop button. If I release the button, you can see the master controller relay turns back on. If you push this button, its light turns on, and the CNC machine does stuff. And then this one, if you push it, its light turns on. And so that's this black cable that's going in. And then there's this gray cable here that goes all the way over here to the robot. And I unfortunately don't have anything hooked up to turn on the inputs which activate robot outputs, but basically it works. I just have to trust me on that one. And then there's this yellow cable which goes over to the CNC, and comes in through here, and that basically deals with that relay that's next to that red light. So basically the signal comes in, activates that, and give you an example. So currently the CNC is here on an M22. That relay with the red light, that was an M22 relay. And if I push this button, which is hooked up to that, the machine starts doing stuff. You can see it doing tool changes, waiting, do another tool change. And back to the M22. So yeah, first that goes off. And then I wired up some stuff from the PLC to this thing, which is like a terminal board or something like that. But basically the idea is that there's a whole bunch of terminals on it which you can use for I/O devices, and instead of having to wire up every single one to the PLC, you just have a single cable going to the PLC, which is the blue one, which goes into the scanner card, which we've disconnected because setting this thing up is a pain. And then I also have a cable going from this bank of solenoids to the PLC, this gray one. And all that works is just, I can't show that it works with one hand because I need to connect things to things. I can't do that. But yeah, overall, this lab was really great. There was a bunch of finishing up wiring diagrams, then doing wiring, which was sort of out of my comfort zone. You know, I'm more into programming industrial robots, which we're currently using this one as a coat rack, and programming industrial CNC machines. So wiring is sort of out of my comfort zone, so that was really nice to do something out of my comfort zone and get it to work. we found some things that were with the initial setup that were wrong, and that I did not do that were wrong. So we found those bugs and fixed them. And yeah, it was really great. I think this took me about, I don't know, 8 hours total. So yeah, it was real fun.